Welcome everybody to tonight's webinar. Tonight we're going to be covering the free resources. And by the way, I'm not Tony Nettleman. My name is Chris with NLC Test Prep. You probably talk to me quite often if anybody calls in asking for additional information about some of the courses, classes that we offer. It's typically me that you're going to talk to. So let's go ahead and see if we can jump right in and get this underway. A new platform for us, so bear with us for just a minute as we set this up. Let's see if it's going to share the screen. Okay. All right, so first is free resources. So if you guys haven't already signed up for the free resources to get some more information about becoming licensed, this is definitely where you're going to want to go. So just go on to nlcprep.com. At the very top of the bar, you should see a free resources. Sign up for there. You get information covering national exams, getting licensed, and much more. So like I said, just go on there, fill out the information, and you'll get this nice little download brochure that I'm scrolling through so you can take a look at it. All right, and then tonight, like I said, we're going to cover free resources for you to help you, and these are going to kind of help you to prepare for some of your exams, whether it be national, so the FS, the PS, even some of the state-specific exams. Don't forget to hit that like and subscribe button below and the bell to be alerted to any upcoming new videos. And we're going to cover several free resources in pursuit of becoming, professional land surveyor. So first is setting a SMART goal, Mentor Mondays, NCEES, and the FSPS handouts, the books that you can download online, some website links, and then some actual hard copy books or ebooks that you can get. All right, so first is setting a SMART goal. So it may not seem like an actual free resource, but it actually kind of is. It's going to help prepare you setting a goal, making sure that you achieve it. So let's jump right in and go into what these actually cover for you. So you got your, of course, specific what you're looking to do, when you're trying to accomplish it, where. So what state are you trying to accomplish it in, where you're trying to get licensed, what's your goal that you're trying to set. So and then measurable is, passing, failing the exams, but there's also, breaking it down even further. So, okay, making sure that you understand everything for, let's say, photogrammetry and remote sensing, or you understand everything in the category for business practices or ALTA standards or FEMA standards. So whatever it is, set a goal and work on those. And make sure that it's an achievable goal, like, oh, I'm going to have my RPLS in 2 years. Well, do you meet the requirements? Do you, have the associate's degree? Do you have your 32 credit hours? So there's, for the achievable, make sure that it is actually achievable. If you guys have questions about planning, you can give us a call, set it up a one-on-one, kind of go over a timeline and everything for you. But that's the best way. So making sure that you can achieve that goal as well. Relevant, so aligned with basically with your goals. So same thing as, taking classes specific to it or surveying classes or, working in the surveying industry and making sure that you obtain X amount of hours or years that are required in order to become a professional land surveyor. All right. Lastly, like I said, time bound. Same thing, setting a deadline. So say it's going to take you 3 months to prepare for your fundamentals of surveying exam or your principles and practices. Set that goal, 3 months. So every week you need to study for X amount of hours in order to obtain that and achieve it. All right, number 2, Mentoring Mondays. So Mentoring Mondays is another great resource. to hear from professional land surveyors to discuss some of the main topics. Okay, yeah, you'll be able to have conversations with surveyors, see actual problems encountered, and learn a lot more about the profession. So there's a lot of information you can learn on Mentor Mondays. All right, next we're going to go to NCEES handouts. So in the middle of the screen, you'll see it logging into your account. You'll access your account by putting in your email and password. Scroll down in the middle, and you're able to access the handouts. With the handouts, you can get them for engineers, I believe architects as well, and surveyors, of course. So you select the one that you're looking for, which is the Fundamentals of Surveying exam. Click on it, and you can see on the left-hand side 185 pages for the Fundamentals of Surveying. It's a lot of information. Now, this is one of the handouts that you're going to see on your exam as well. So this is that reference material that you have during the actual exam. So you can always scroll through here. It's going to show you kind of what pages things are on, where everything's set up, so you can access it during your exam, and then you'll have to be comfortable with it for searching. Same thing, you can get the principles and practices one on here as well. So that one's 140 pages, but same thing, it's going to be on the actual exam for you too. So on the left-hand side, when you're taking the computer-generated or computer-based test, it'll be on that left-hand side for you. All right. Next is web links. So web links are great. You're going to be able to, the ones that I provided. So we've got like FGDC. So, you've got your Federal Geodetic Control Subcommittee. So geospatial information, which is one of the categories that is on your exam, especially for the fundamentals of surveying. So if you want to get some of the standards, accuracy standards, this is a great link that you can go to, find out the information that you need. All right, the next one, NSPS. So on here, we're able to get the ALTA standards. ALTA standards is another big one that they test on. FS is going to touch on it briefly. The PS touches on it a little bit more, and some of the state specifics may have that as well. It just depends. Every state's a little bit different. But the principles and practices is definitely going to touch on your ALTA standards, making sure you know those. So here's a great link that you can go to, nsps.us.com, and you can get the ALTA standards. All right, next, blm.gov. So this is your Bureau of Land Management. So you may not need this exactly for the exams, but it's also a great resource to have and to know where to get to it when doing surveys or land resource management, mineral management, different things that you'll encounter while surveying and practicing surveying. All right, so lastly is FEMA. So FEMA site, you're able to view flood maps. So engineers, surveyors, architects, all have that important role of updating flood hazard maps. You got to make sure that you're basically licensed in order to prepare the certificate. So surveyors that are able to do that, whether you're currently doing it or going to be doing it in the future, this is another great link for information to provide and to have. And lastly is the books. So there's a lot of different books out there. So these are some of the top books that I would say are great resources I get from other individuals who have taken the exams, as well as surveyors who have them on their shelves. So like 1001 Solved Survey Problems by Van Sickle. That's a great book for studying for your FS exam. You'll pretty much use it throughout your career as well. See if we can get that to come back real quick. There we go. It wants to load today. All right, so yeah, like I said, 1001 Surveying Problems by Van Sickle. Clark on Surveying and Boundaries, another great book. Evidence and Procedures, Brown's, Writing Legal Description, Waddle's book. Definitions of Surveying Associated Terms, NSPS book. So how can you find these books? So you can check with your crew that you currently work with, managers or bosses. You'll most likely find these in any of the surveying offices you work at. You can also check your library. You can go through some of the Barnes and Noble. You can find those on there as well. Some of them will have them in store. But those are all great resources to go through and to have in order to help prepare you. So like I said, on our site, we've got the free resources you can sign up for. Open that back up. It wants to share, maybe. There we go. So yeah, free resources on our page, nlcprep.com. You can log in there, get all the information that you need. So like I said, so be able to watch videos, get what's covered on your FS and PS for you, get all the information you need for preparing for the exams. It goes a little bit into the SMART goal as well. And then some of the specifics for the state exams. So like I said, first thing to do is set up a SMART goal. Once you set up that SMART goal, you know, you're going to be able to basically plan it and get organized. So set your specific deadline of, you know, what state you're going to get licensed in, what are the requirements, how long is it going to take to achieve these goals, and go through all of that as you're preparing. Next is going to be Mentoring Mondays. Like I said, this is another great free resource. You're able to get information from surveyors and people that are in the surveying field. So you'll be able to watch videos, refer back to them. You'll see some practice problems on them as well. They'll talk about, you know, whether it be surveying rights as far as legal questions. All that can be found on here. You can ask them and log in for the Mentor Mondays, ask questions on them as well. It's a great free resource. Next one, like I said, is NCEES. So on NCEES, the handout booklets. So when you go onto their site, ncees.org, you're able to go on to download the FS and the PS practice principles and practices of surveying, or the fundamentals of surveying reference handbooks, which are going to be great for you if you're studying for those exams. All right, next, website links again. So a couple different website links. So FGCD, so the Federal Geodetic Control Committee. So for accuracy standards, you are going to see some of these questions that are on your FSPS exams. They do ask about, you know, geospatial questions. So this is a good resource to have. Next one, NSPS. Again, ALTA standards. So ALTA standards, you've probably seen if you've taken the exam already. FS and PS, some of the state specifics, they will ask you ALTA standards and questions. And that's where that reference material that we were looking at earlier for the handouts or the handbooks, if you know where to find it in there, it can help you out when you're on the exam. All right, next is the Bureau of Land Management. So again, on here, just another great resource for, you know, mineral management, land resources, forestry, you know, different information that you'll use while practicing. All right, one of the last links to look at again is the FEMA one. So if you're doing any uh, floodplains or flood elevation certificates, this is where you're going to go to file them, get information for them. Again, this is where engineers, surveyors, architects basically can access this, and as long as they're approved, can go ahead and file them as well. Mostly it's surveyors that you're going to see doing it. And lastly is the books. So quite a few different resources as far as books go. So we've got the 1001 Solve Surveying Problems by Jan Van Sickle. Great book, especially for studying for the FS exam. Clark on Surveying Boundaries, Evidence and Procedures, Brown's book, Writing Legal Description, Waddles, and then Definitions of Surveying Associated Terms, the NSPS book. All these are great resources. Like I said, most of them you will find at your local surveyor's office. If not, you can always check Barnes & Noble, some other online places. But getting these for free and using these as resources to study, prepare for your exams, and then later on even buying and collecting them are going to be great resources to always come back and follow up on. Books that'll never basically go out of date. So that covers all the information for tonight as far as the free resources. If you guys have any questions, just leave them in the comments. We'll be glad to get back to you later on and answer any questions you have about other free resources. But again, remember to just go onto our site, nlcprep.com. At the very top, you'll see a free resources link. Fill out the information on there, and you'll be able to download that little, I think it's 6 or 8 pages, covering all the information for you for the different exams, setting SMART goals, and everything else on there as well. And then, like I said, it will give you a little blip about becoming licensed in a state and what the standard requirements typically are. Every state's different. So if you do have any questions, just go to nlcprep.com and schedule a 15-minute consult with myself, and we'd be glad to answer any questions you might have. Again, my name is Chris with NLC Test Prep. Thanks again for watching, and tune in next month for another one. We're going to talk about, I think it's Texas, actually, and some of the changes that they're going through and about incorporating the PS exam. So stay tuned for that next month, and we'll be here to talk. If you guys got any questions, you can give us a call at 877-758-6262, or like I said, log on to nlcprep.com and schedule a 15-minute consult.